Hey y'all, y'all doing all right? I want to welcome y'all to Unplugged. Today is one of those subject matters. We're talking about women again, and I know sometimes people will try to criticize me because I may speak on one subject and it's a subject that they're very compassionate about. The other subjects they just ignore me. And that's just the way it is. When I talk about religion, atheists come there's a dog whistle that goes off, and then these atheists show up on the show in the comment section. It's amazing. If I'm talking about religion, if I'm talking about politics, and if I mention Donald Trump's name, then it's like all his followers pop up and they going after me because I mentioned something in passing with him and saying that I'm a liberal. If I speak on the liberals, they'll say, "See, you must be a Trumpster." It really is amazing how that is. But boy, when I bring up any type of subject on women, whew, and the women, some of them, they don't like it ever. And I don't care because I thank God for the well-balancedness, the life that I try to live when it comes to rhetoric and talking points. You have to be. Jesus was a very balanced person, and the Apostle Paul, howbeit some of his stuff was very difficult to understand. Peter said it in his own words. Some things that Paul says difficult. I still consider him generally a very balanced man. And he said that there were things that he shouldn't do, but he do. Well, I don't think that was present tense. I think it was past tense. But there were some things I'm sure he did struggle with. He had a thorn in his side, and we still don't know what that is. So I try to be balanced, and today I'm going to try to be balanced again by speaking on this video that a woman sent me. So it ain't like I'm coming up with these shows to talk about women. Women send me these topics, and most of my unplugged come from women who say, will you? Some of them come from men, but 75% of my listeners are women. See you in Unplugged. I'm going to play this video of a woman here, and I want you all to tell me what you think of her because her transparency was quite gripping. And I've shared this with a couple of men and a couple of women, and I'm going to read a comment from a man's point of view. And this teaching, what she's getting ready to say is everything in my book, The 4 Women That Men Desire. She is a perfect example of my book and those 4 women. All right, let's see if we can go here.
I may make light of the reasons why I'm getting a divorce, but truly one of the biggest ones is I've been in this masculine energy for so long that I have lost my identity. Like, I really feel like a damn man for most of the time in this relationship. I have endured things that no woman should have to deal with when it comes down to things like protection. Imagine now, my son, one of them, teenage son, not 5 years old, teenage son, thought he was going to be in an altercation with another guy. I had no idea. He walks past his dad, he walks past his brother, and he says, "Mom, come with me. This guy is talking shit, and I want,
All right, let's see what happened. Let me pause my video so that I can get this back playing. Hold on. You're going to see a glitch in a minute. All right, let's see.
His computer or something. He wanted something back. Without hesitation, I jump in the car. My gimpy, post-stroke surviving self jumped in the car to take this boy to meet this kid for a potential altercation with no hesitation. I drive him over there, and he actually gets into a fight. Just think about that. In a crisis, in a potential situation of harm, his instincts is to seek me out, like to forego his dad or his brother, but seek me out. Like I'm the fucking goon in the family. I've been masculine for so long that we actually we'll go somewhere. I'll come out to the car, and my husband and my son are sitting in passenger seats. Nobody's in the driver's seat. They're waiting for me. I've been in this masculine energy so long that I don't even recall more than 4 or 5 times. I'm 56. Even talking about or discussing menopause or understanding that some of the emotional changes or the changes in my skin or all these different changes are coming from that. No concept of it. My brother-in-laws used to talk mad shit to me, just the most inappropriate, most vulgar things that they could say to me. And because I think maybe because of the military, likely, I would just talk shit back. But the fact that my husband allowed it in his presence for them to say the most deplorable things, the most disgusting, vulgar things to me, and him not feel the need to protect me from them, that's crazy. And it didn't even occur to me until my boys got older. Like, so we're talking about years. When my boys got like 8 and 11 years old and they were actually in the room and noticing this, that's when I spoke up. Because it occurred to me that my sons were witnessing the disrespect and how their uncles were treating women. And I didn't want that to be their standard. And when I approached my husband about it, he said, "Oh, well, you seemed fine and you were giving it right back to him. But were you fine with it, sir?" I've been masculine for so long, I'm constantly thinking about filters. HVAC filter, water dispenser filter, the air filters in the car. I was reading this whole list about if you've been imbalanced for so long, and I'm checking all the boxes. The self-care, that's for shit. The freaking burnout. The stress that I've been carrying and just the impact it has had on my physical body. Like, I walk around every day with a headache of some degree, literally every day. And sure, it may be related to the stroke, or the stroke is related to the stress, either way. I mean, when the kids were younger, I was doing both putting Hot Wheel tracks together, building Legos, and also bedazzling dance costumes, cooking, and cutting grass. So yeah, I'm fucking tired. And it's not just me jumping into these roles. My husband made space for me to be in these roles. He sought me out for some of these masculine roles. Like, literally, if there was something heavy to lift. Now, the two youngest are over 6 feet tall, 180 pounds, give or take. But he would seek me out. "Babe, come help me move the couch. Babe, come help me move the table." And if you're wondering, yes, even intimately. In the past, me initiating was a treat, but then that became the norm in this relationship. I may make light of the reason.
And there you have it. I know some of you are screeching. Some of you are like, holy cow, what in the world? And some of you are like, that's me. Whose fault is this? Well, don't know the dynamics on from his point of view. We only know from her point of view, and then we don't know from the son's point of view. But from anybody on the outside looking in, we can see that both of these parties, she and him, there's a problem. Now, I'm going to read from a male's point of view here. He says she is the goon in the family. That is why her son bypassed everyone else and went straight to her. She stated post-stroke and gimpy self with no hesitation, jump in the car and go. But then she realizes afterwards the potential for physical altercation has taken place. If her husband stepped in and said, "Hold on, wait a minute," would she have actually stopped? No, she would not have. Would she even taken into consideration what he had said about the potential of things that were likely to go on? She ain't got to be that way. She has adopted that role. She hasn't stepped back. And a lot of women give commentary to a man supposed to be a leader, but they won't get out of the way or step back. But he's supposed to lead and protect when she won't step behind that shield. And this is the problem that I see in many feministic, masculine preaching women who are pastors over churches. You got men in that church, and they are extremely henpecked. That she takes the dominant role, even if she's married to a man. He's the first gentleman. All right. So she has to step to the plate, she thinks. And she's rescued by other women who say, well, a man ain't preaching, so let her be the apostle, the elder, the bishop, what have you. Men ain't doing it. Have you ever seen or heard any animal say, well, the cats ain't doing it, so me as a dog, I have to do it. Meow, meow. That's what they say when they say that. We have to go out of order because these people are not in order, so I have to go out of order. You're impersonating somebody. Well, the police ain't in town, so we have to go out there and arrest people and do all these vigilante things. So he continues by saying women fight because they're in their feelings with little regards to winning or losing or any other consequences. They mad and they lash out. Men fight for either dominance or survival. And it's not from me. This is from him. But he's making a point, and I don't think he represents this comment represents all women who goes into this. No, but this woman here, I think he's reading her just right. A woman would allow her emotion to go into a fight, and it doesn't matter. She just need to do it. So, some women need to say something. They feel that they have to say it. So I got to say it. Without the bridle of the tongue, without the using grace, without using the honey and all the examples that Jesus mentioned and Paul mentioned about conduct and all that, the tongue is an unruly evil. All that gets thrown out with a lot of Christian women. They say, I had to say it. And then it turns out to be very deadly, not just for the people who gets really hurt because of what you said, the person too. It could cause bodily harm as well. How many men have lost their lives because the woman stepped in and said, yeah, do this, do that. And then the man jumps in and fight, and then her husband dies. All right. I know y'all, are y'all upset? I can't see y'all. So I don't know if you're upset right now, but I hope y'all not upset with me. Are y'all upset with me? All right. Let me continue. I'm reading his words. He says, he was talking to somebody who said something. He says, what you're missing is a man is not going to fight the world and fight at home too. This woman has had a stroke and had the effects of those things. And all it took her son was to tell her he had a situation. She didn't really question anything, and she ran her butt out the house. Do you think there's much this man is going to do other than triple and stand on a darn chest? I'm protecting y'all, by the way, to get her to stop and think about what's going on. He's obviously given up. Her boy wanted retribution and not resolution. A man is only going to say stop. Think about this so many times before he reacts and go, yeah, okay. Do whatever you need to do. So yeah, I think that brother there speaks for a lot of men. So whose fault is this? Well, it's obviously both. This young lady probably came up this way where her father was not there to show that dominance of protection over her life. And so she raised herself. She might have been a latchkey kid. Her mother maybe was the same way. And how she is right now is how her son's going to be with her. How her sons are with her, that's how the son's going to be when they get married. The way her husband is with her, that's how these sons of hers is going to be with their girls. And they are going to be looking for a dominant, masculine energy type girl. Happens so much. Y'all call them generational curses. No, these are traits. Monkey see, monkey do. So she didn't get any kind of counseling or help for what was not a comfortable, very balanced home. All right. So she come up and she might have been tomboyish, all these things, and she went into marriage and had children, and she might have married a man who was already henpecked. So everything that I said about her, I have to say about him. He come up in that environment where he might have saw a henpecked man. Or one of the extreme things that can happen is that he came up in a very balanced home, but she dominated him. She forced him to do things, and he liked it. And she stripped him of that masculinity and that protective shield that he had, the mentality of protecting, the nature and the instinct of protection. She stripped that from him, and he was like, you know what, if you can't beat him, join him. So she probably gets up before he do, go to work, and she bring home the bacon, and not saying that he lays in bed and don't go to work, but she's the man of the house. She wears the pants, all right? And it doesn't mean that it started off that way. It just means that she dominated, and it became a very comfortable position for her and him. And notice she said she didn't realize it. That's why I said it was comfortable. She didn't realize it until her sons, and she noticed it. Now her sons look at daddy as weak. As weak. So all this stuff is going to play out in her sons and their sons' life as they get older. So that whole family needs counseling. Anybody up for the job? So a woman is going to watch this and say, nah, brother, you're wrong. Others will say, you know what, brother, you're right, because that's me, or that's my mom. That's my sister. That might even be my daughter. The brothers, most of them are going to say, you're right, brother. Trust me. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. Most of them. Men are not always correct. I will say that. We're not. And sometimes we use our emotion to gauge a woman and say, you are a bitter black woman. All black women who maybe yell or scream or argue with you is not bitter. She don't know what else to do because something wrong with you, bruh. Something wrong with you. And so your defense is the same defense as some kid would say, your mama. That's fighting words. So a defense for a man, a safe word or phrase is, you a bitter black woman. And when you tell a black woman that, oh, she gonna kill you. Oh yeah, she gonna show you how bitter she is. But that doesn't mean she is bitter. It just means that you don't know how to dwell peaceably with her. All these dynamics is a case by case basis, and we just, all of y'all just need to go sit down with a counselor and see if y'all can see things that you can't see on your own. You're gonna need a mediator. Thank God for Jesus, because he's a mediator between God and man, so that we can have this person who's non-biased. You understand? So it's a tough one, I will say, and I'm hoping that she gets the help that she needs, because she mentioned divorce. Divorce seems like it's getting ready to happen in their lives. I hope not, but I'm hoping that she read some of the comments in there and she can get the help that she needs. All right, listen, what do you all have to say about this? Go into the comments section and let me know. All right. Am I right? Is the brother who I just read right? Am I wrong? Or what do you think? I'm going to read your comments. I like taking my tea and reading the unplugged comments. They'd be great, especially from the women. You all are very brilliant in your writings and your explanations, and you bring up points that I might not, I'll be like, oh, wow, I didn't think about that. Let me create a show on it. All right. All right, y'all. I'm going to go. I'll see you all tomorrow night for another episode of Unplugged.